Hi guys, welcome back. Oops, here I am again with my microphone. Forgot to bring it forward. Welcome back to Brave Leaders with me, Tara Weir. I am finding the balance between preparing my thoughts for these posts and not letting the preparation hold me back from actually posting, because I can definitely do that. I can just keep thinking, I haven't figured it all out and I'm not prepared, so I'm not going to say anything. But I don't want to wait. And there is so much that I'm so excited about that I want to share with you. So, hi, Chris. Okay, so today I was meeting with a client. It was an awesome session. She is currently up for a promotion to a higher level leadership position, and she is competing against her colleague that she's been working with and collaborating with for years. And she just found this out. What transpired today was this fantastic conversation about how she's capable. And she's been setting some goals. We've been determining that in order for her to really demonstrate that she's ready for this position, that's what she needs to do, is demonstrate that she's ready for this position. So she set some goals and she's taken some awesome action. She's had some great meetings and really is making incredible progress, and has come from this overwhelming fear, because it really was originally she was told that she and her colleague would both get the position. There would be two positions. And last week they were told that there's only one position. So from the initial shock and all sorts of swirling thoughts and frustration, feelings of frustration and disappointment and fear, really afraid. She was like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have to compete. And so anyway, we were having a fabulous conversation, follow up after last week's session. And at the end, she said, now, as long as I don't disappoint my supervisor. And I was like, oh, that is perfect. I am so glad you said that outside. Let's talk about that. What we discussed, what we came to, and what I told her was that and the conversation went like this. It was so funny. I said, now, that voice is a voice. It's a legitimate internal voice. Now, we don't want that voice driving the car. And she said, no, she's going to be locked in the trunk and gagged. We laughed. And I said, well, that's not what I was getting at. We don't want her locked in the trunk and gagged, because truly you'll be driving along thinking all of things are fine and hunky-dory, and she'll be kicking and moaning and ripping at the inside of your trunk, distracting us, distracting her. Distracting you is what I said to the client. And she said, well, that's probably true. What really is the kicker is that these internal voices that come from fear of disappointing other people, fear of not being enough, fear of being rejected, fear of so many different things, fear of not measuring up. They're core beliefs, they're core fears that are there, and they're never going to go away. We just want to manage them. And we don't manage them by trying to shut them up, because, boy, if they're not heard, then they get louder. Because the truth is, what they need is compassion and understanding. And they need to be heard. So what we resist persists, but what we acknowledge and what we give voice to and what we have compassion for softens. So we talked about her this week really paying attention to those limiting beliefs, those fears that come up, and creating space for them, allowing the pause to process them, to listen and have compassion for them the way she would for her employees, the way she would for a best friend. And she and I just had such a great kind of was like a not a what's the word, just like an awakening as we were sitting there. It was just so powerful because she shared that fear. And then for her, she said, I guess I'm afraid that if she's in the car with me, she'll take over. And so we explored that. The practice is going to be, like I just said, pausing, acknowledging, hearing, maybe even asking, tell me more. What are you afraid of? And reminding, and which I reminded her, is that no matter what happens, that she is always loved, that she is always good enough. And that if she doesn't get this job or whatever it is that the challenge is in front of her, that she's going to remind herself and needs to remind that part of herself that no matter what, no matter who might be disappointed, no matter what action she takes, that she's always loved and that she's always enough. Uh-oh, did I stop? Am I losing? Oh, I think it just paused. Sorry, just broke the video there. So from that conversation, what I wanted to say to you, which I just thought, and I told her, I said, I am going to make a post today about this on Facebook because she's an incredible leader and she's very committed to growing and learning and wanting to contribute to her organization to the best that she can and wanting to be the best leader that she can. And leaders are brave. Leaders that acknowledge that part of themselves and can be with that part of themselves are the ones that can continue to move forward. Because again, if we don't give voice to that, we don't give space and listen to that part of ourselves and acknowledge, not let it take over in the driver's seat, but to at least acknowledge, then they will try to take over the driver's seat and they'll come in the most inopportune times. That voice will be saying, oh, don't screw this up. You don't want to disappoint. Your boss is counting on you. Oh, you just said that. That was going to be a disappointment. That was not right. You were totally off mark there. So that voice grows. And really what we want is that part of ourselves to be reassured. So that's my invitation to you today, is to notice when those sabotaging, fear-based thoughts are creeping in, and maybe you'll notice it from a feeling of discouragement or irritation or anxiety. When you notice that, notice the thought. Try to get to that core belief and be with it. Create space for it. Listen to it. Acknowledge it. Even ask it, ask it, what's it like to be so afraid? And what would be the worst if I did disappoint that person? And remind that part of yourself that you're enough. Remind that part of yourself that no matter what, you are loved. No matter what, you are good enough. So that's it for today. And I see McCall has tuned in, and Dan, and Janine, Candace, and Chris. Thank you all for joining me today. And may you have a day full of awareness and enlightenment to those core beliefs. And may you give that part of yourself the attention that it's craving and the compassion and understanding it deserves, so that it can relax and you can be in your full true self. Until next time, take care.